Hey guys, it's Monday, March 23rd, and you are watching the special series, the Toe Knows Everything CarCast series. I'm practicing social distancing, and I want to be responsible, so I'm just driving around in my car by myself. Watch me every day here at the Toe Knows Everything channel on YouTube or Instagram. I say what others think, but are afraid to say. Here in the city of Bonn, there are 7,000 small businesses. 7,000. And small business doesn't necessarily just mean a little mom and pop shop. It also means factories that employ 100, 200 people in the U.S. Small business is defined as a net profit of $30 million and under. In Canada, it's a little less. But let's just talk about mom and pop shops and some of these factories, these window manufacturers here in the city of Bonn, these plastic extrusion companies. There's tons of these types of companies in the city of Bonn. Let's just say they each employ 1, 2, 3, 4 people. We are talking potentially thousands and thousands of people, tens of thousands, if not more, people unemployed right now at home. And a lot of people right now are saying, hey, it's okay, Trudeau took care of everyone, everyone's collecting unemployment, things are fine. Well, let me reassure you that things are not fine, because ultimately that unemployment insurance is going to run out. And if companies are not back at it, producing, working, selling, collecting revenue, there won't be a tax base, there won't be anyone paying unemployment. And guess what? Everyone's unemployment will eventually run out. So we got to get back to work. The good news is I firmly believe that this crisis will come to an end. I can't say exactly when, but I'm going to predict that it's going to take up to a year. And the reason why I'm saying that is for this very reason. This virus, for it to end, will require a vaccine. And they are working on the vaccine. They're working super fast on this vaccine. And I'm just driving around these streets of Woodbridge here, which used to be super busy and packed. All these factories are completely either closed or there's nobody here. There's no one working, no production happening. But like I was saying about the vaccine's going to take approximately a year to come to market. By that time, hopefully it'll take less time than a year, but let's just say it takes a year. By the time this vaccine is out and this problem is eventually solved, the markets will come roaring back. But before that happens, there could be a massive reset. There could be a massive reset, and I'll tell you why. Because although people feel like, hey, I'm collecting unemployment insurance, hey, you know what, my mortgage payments have been deferred, not forgiven, deferred. There's a big difference. That means you're going to have to pay it at some time. It doesn't mean that it's been forgiven where you're never going to have to pay those mortgage payments. So you delay them 6 months, guess what? They're going to accumulate, and at some point, you're going to owe 6 months of mortgage payments to your banks. Rents, they're saying, hey, you know what, you don't have to pay your landlords. Yeah, that might be true, and it's true for me maybe as well as a small business owner, but guess what, at some point those landlords got to get paid because they got to pay their mortgages, and it is a trickle down effect. No one is going to be off the hook. Maybe the only way that the government is going to be able to actually allow the economy to survive and thrive in the future, like in a year's time when the vaccine is out, is a total reset where everything is forgiven. This has never happened in history before, so we have no idea what's going to happen. Even during World War I and World War II, the factories were booming. They were making ammunition, tanks, cars, consumer products. Right now, the world economy is on pause. It's on a freeze. The only good things that can come out of this are, number one, interest rates are super low, never been lower. In Europe, they're in negative territory. In Canada and the US and the Western world here, it is close to zero. So let me tell you something. There will be massive opportunities once this is over, because there will be pent-up demand. People are going to be dying to get out. People are going to be dying to go shopping. People are going to be literally fighting for properties, for rental properties, because there's going to be this pent-up demand. And when there's pent-up demand and not enough supply, but massive demand and super low interest rates, that creates opportunity. So that's the positive spin. But the end game for this is the vaccine. And that vaccine, you mark my words, these big pharmaceuticals are going to come out with it. And there's tons of conspiracy theories about, the big pharmaceuticals and government got in cahoots and they did this on purpose. That may be a possibility. But at the end of the day, the only way to come out of this now is with a vaccine. And it should take approximately a year to get that to market. There's gonna be a lot of casualties before we get there. But like I was saying, there could be a total world reset. Small businesses, they contribute and are the backbone of all economies and all communities. And I think this is forcing us to think locally again. You got to think local. You got to make local. We got to rely less on China. And I do some business with the Chinese, and the Chinese are back in the factory starting to produce. They actually have a green car rating system right now where every single citizen has a green or a red ID badge. If you are a red, you are not permitted to leave your home. If you are green, you can go to work. So they have done some of the right things, and they've instituted some of the right measures to make sure that they get back on track. And I know people are going to comment the Chinese started this, etc., etc. Regardless, we are in a point where now we need to be defensive to eventually be on the offensive. So, someone mentioned to me, well, it's not the government's fault. Well, you know what? I do blame some of our government, because preventative medicine is always better than reactive medicine. And all we do, unfortunately, in Canada is practice reactive medicine. And we treat some of the symptoms, but we never get to the root cause. What's the root cause? Root cause is bring manufacturing back to Canada, back to the USA, employ our people. And, people got to be reasonable. And I know, a lot of people, union people especially, are going to say, well, we want good wages. We're not going to work for Chinese wages. We're not saying that you got to work for Chinese wages, but you got to be fair. Corporations are in business for a reason, to make a profit. They put their capital on the line, they risk, and then they employ people. And this is free market capitalism. That's a fact. If you ever took grade 13 or now they don't have grade 13, but if you took economics, you would have learned that. If you took first year economics in university, you would have learned that. And capital systems of government work. Socialist ones don't. We've tried that. Communist Russia, Cuba. Just take a holiday to Cuba and tell me if you would like to live in Cuba full-time as a Cuban citizen, with limited freedoms. So I don't think you would. And most Chinese don't really value the socialist regime that they live in either. So at the end of the day, we have to support each other, buy locally. We will get through this. The vaccine is the key. Believe me, the economy will be gangbusters when we get out of this, and especially the real estate market. The real estate will be on fire. It's the last one to take the big hit in this world. We're now in a recession, on our way possibly to a depression, but it'll be the first market. The real estate market will be the first market to rebound, and it's going to rebound strong. You mark my words. Guys, I'm coming to you every day with tips and commentary on the economy during this coronavirus crisis. It's a world crisis, but I'm going to keep you up to date and give you the facts and give you some educated explanations on why we're going to get through this. And we will get through this. And we want to thank the doctors and frontline workers again. And one of my posts yesterday, I said, we need 24-hour service stations just for frontline healthcare workers. Why do we not have that? Set up some stores. The Chinese built hospitals in 8 days. Set up some stores for these healthcare workers where they can shop round the clock, 24/7 for all essential workers. Let's give these people some help, and let's give them the respect and courtesy they deserve. They're working late shifts, overnight shifts. When they get out, they need food too. They need supplies for their families. Let's take care of our frontline workers. We'll see you again today, or tomorrow actually, at Toe Knows Everything on Instagram. Check out my YouTube channel, Toe Knows Everything there. I got a lot of great interviews on there as well. And we'll talk to you soon, everyone. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.